Okay, what's going on YouTube? This your boy Jamari4 here. Once again, I told y'all we was doing the three-parter beach. I bet some of y'all watched that first video like, man, that man ain't gonna do no three-parter. He been having us waiting for months for videos. No, I put out a video on Monday. I put out a video just yesterday on what's that shit? Yeah, with the new thumbnail. Shout out to my little software that I found that's cute. Make sure you go check that out if you haven't. And here we are with video number three, 3 days in a month row. Also, I just uploaded. I'm gonna do some quick announcements, y'all. Then I swear we'll get into the video. Also, I just did a quick or did a video on the new season of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. I know for those who have been here with me for a long time, know we used to love that show. So check out the review of season 9, episode 1 on my channel. I really, really appreciate it. We're trying to regrow here over here on the Jamari 4 channel. I love each and every one of y'all who has stuck with me. I remember y'all. I know y'all names. Um, and also, I was just featured on another friend of mine's podcast. I know I told you about that in the first video, but she released part two, where we talked about uh, the dangers of online dating and the strategies about dealing with DL men. Like it's really really good. Make sure you guys go check out that podcast. It's my friend K-Day. The podcast name is the Perfect Blend Podcast. We did episode 1, which is called "Is It Fat Enough?" and we just did episode 2, "To Catch a Predator," dealing with online dating. Okay, make sure you guys check those things out. Give her your feedback, show her some love. All right, now that we gotten all that out of the way, we're about to finish out this video and then go into a different video because it's the end of this one. All right. So my friend nearly got us killed. How many times have we come across that statement with these damn stories, Chuck? Because y'all friends be some dumbasses. No shade. Okay.
Hi, my name is Adil,
I got my
and
grapes,
this
by the
is a
way.
true story. The police have finished this case, and the man is in prison now. I was 14 at the time this took place. I was in a school and sitting in a history lesson that was so boring. My friend Noel, who was sitting opposite me, said I could come over on Saturday, as his parents were not going to be there because they were going on a weekend away. That meant we could stay up as long as we wanted. This was not uncommon, as we both invited each other to stay at one another's house, and I
Why
thought
his
we
eyes
were going
look
to have
like
a
that?
great time.
Why his mouth blue?
Saturday came and I was so ready. I packed my essentials like my toothbrush, my new game, and my pepper spray. My parents always made me carry it, and I didn't mind because it made me feel safe too.
Okay, well
I
your
went on
parents are
my
kind of
way and
smart.
30 minutes later, after walking, arrived to Noel's house. As he opened the door, he looked a little tense and shifty.
What the fuck?
I walked in and locked the door after me, to which he became even more anxious. I
What?
asked him if everything was all right, and he said it was. Not trying to put a down on the evening, I asked him if we could play the new game I bought. He wasn't really interested, but said yes anyway.
Hold on. Why does it sound? Oh, you know what? I'm really praying because I really want to eat these grapes. I'm really hoping that this doesn't get like horrible sound feedback in the mic because I can't hear what it sounds like until after it's already recorded, y'all. You know what I do? I probably eat them while we pause it. Okay, hold on. Why do I have feel like there's somebody already in the house and they're like holding a gun to his head and he told him like, lead your friend in this house, lead him into this room, or I'm gonna kill you, something like that. Because he's giving the face like I'm trying to act normal, but I'm terrified because I'm gonna die if I don't. That's what he's giving me right now.
After 30 minutes of watching him not playing and just holding the controller in his hand, I switched off the TV and asked him what was going on. To which he replied, I need your help. I asked him what he needed my help for.
Mm-hmm.
He told me that this man who added him on Facebook was actually stalking him in real life, and as to how he wanted to meet Noel. He warned him that if he told his parents, he would kill them. So, Noel, being the stupid idiot, he told him to come at 8 p.m.
Oh. You gave your actual address to a crazy person on Facebook. I mean, I know you're trying to like protect your parents, but I don't know. Like, I feel like you have to tell your parents. You have to tell your parents. Like, no, girl, you didn't handle this properly at all, sister. You could have given them, hell, the neighbors across the street address. Well, not across, maybe that's a little bit too close. 3 blocks, the next neighborhood over. And then, if he's stalking you, how does he not know where you live? What kind of stalker doesn't know where their stalkee lives? That's a little strange to me.
5 minutes from now. He was scared, so he asked me to come to this meeting to get rid of him, and that if he had told me at school, I never would have agreed to come.
You're fucking right.
He was right. I felt betrayed that he brought me here under false pretenses.
Yes!
I was also angry at his stupidity of him giving his address away as well.
Baby, me and you would have to fight. You mean to tell me that you brought me and endangered my life because of your dumb assery? So now we both about to sit up in here dealing with some crazy person because you decided to give out your address across the internet? I'm leaving. If it wasn't so close to 8 o'clock, I would be gone because I feel like if I walk outside, I'm gonna run into the mofo. That's the only reason I'm staying here. But baby, believe me this: if we step out of here alive, never talk to me again. Never talk to me again. It's over.
However, I had no time to argue. I was just glad he told me about this guy. I grabbed my pepper spray and just sat there on the couch. The doorbell rang at 8 p.m. I just sat there hoping he would leave after a little bit. However, then I started to hear scratching and realized he was breaking in with some sort of tool. I quickly ran into the kitchen with Noel, and we heard the door lock get broken, and someone kicked the door in. The lights were on, and we were hiding behind the large fridge. The man, in a deep voice, shouted, "Noel!" We didn't reply. And then he shouted, "Noel, where the heck are you? I'm going to kill you."
What?
I had a plan.
Why?
At this point, I pushed Noel out from behind the fridge.
Wait! 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 This is the funniest one I've ever seen. You said you have a plan, and this man just told y'all straight up, "No, I'm looking for you. I'm ready to kill you," and you pushed this man into the open. Wait, shit. Well, let me see if this plan is, child. Because if this plan involves you pushing him out the way and then hitting it up the street and leaving him to die, woo, you ain't shit. This was funny.
Noel started going back, and the man was walking forward, chuckling. As soon as he came near the distance of the fridge, I shot out and sprayed pepper spray in his eyes. He screamed in pain and then started swinging the screwdriver in his hand. I grabbed the screwdriver and picked up a pan laying there and hit him on the head. He blacked out.
Shit.
He was dressed in a smart suit and was clean shaven. We called the police and later found out that he was a man who was being monitored because there were several complaints of stalking and threatening behavior. They also found many tools in a bag he left near the door that would dismember a body. Thankfully, this sicko didn't kill anyone. However, I'm now happy that Noel called me because I dread to think what would have happened if I wasn't there.
Ooh, child. Ooh, child. You a special kind of dumbass to be sending out your damn address over the internet. Don't be this dummy. Okay, so I'm going to pause it real quick and then we're going to come back with the next video. Okay, so we're back. Now, this one might be interesting because this is another one by Llama Arts, our original animator. I can always count on them. And it's a 10-minute long video. It's only this one story, and it's 10 minutes long. So I'm interested to see how the detailing is going to go into this. I'm excited about this. So let's see how this goes. Get my grapes, child.
Looking for a new roommate is always a daunting task. Even though you interview and take the time to get to know that person, you don't truly find out who they are until you start living with them. I had begun searching for a roommate.
That is so flicking true. And this doesn't just stop at roommates. Roommates, relationships, sometimes friendships, depending on whatever relationship or being in close proximity with somebody. When you first meet them, it's cool, and even though you've known a person for years, you don't know them until you have to live with them, or at least spend extended periods of time with them in a confined space. Okay? That's when, and I mean, to make that kind of a situation work, you really have to get along and vibe well with this other person, because I have had situations, especially through college, where it's just like just locked myself in my room and didn't want to deal with the people out there just because we didn't really get along like that. Not that we were fighting, but they were just not. Mm-mm. So I can't imagine having to find roommates of people that you've never even met. Oh no. I hope I never had to deal with that. You had to try to interview people. You can't really get nothing from no interview. Like, you could ask them about themselves, but you won't really know till you live with them. So it's like, I'm sorry. That's just oof. I understand that frustration. I'm just like, I'm so afraid of ever having to go through that.
After I decided to leave my current residency. I was contacted a couple of hours after placing an ad on the Facebook Marketplace. The message read,
"Hey Chris, I'll be moving out of my current apartment this August and I'm looking to room with someone new, as my roommates are moving to California this year. I'm 27 and I'm currently going to school. When I'm not at school, I enjoy hiking and watching movies. I also apprentice at a taxidermy shop on the days I don't have class. Hope that's not weird. It's always been a fun hobby of mine. Anyway, I'm looking forward to hearing back from you. Have a great day, Lunaire."
My first and most obvious reaction after reading the message was to check her profile. She was of medium height, had long, messy blonde hair and green eyes. In her profile picture, I saw her standing with a man and a woman shoulder to shoulder. They each adorned goofy grins and held up peace signs. Under the photo, the caption read, "Love my roommates." I smiled to myself and decided to send her a message back.
What?
The sun beat
Wait. Hold on.
smiled to myself and decided to send her a message.
Who is that? Who is that? I thought she was on the damn couch earlier. Hold on. I'm not crazy, bitch. Look, was she on the couch? Look at that. And now no, see. And all of a sudden, hold on, where's she at?
Held up peace signs. Under the photo, the caption read, "Love my roommates." I smiled to myself and decided to send her a message
Look at her.
back.
Look at her.
The sun beat down on us as we hoisted various objects to the second floor of our new apartment.
Child.
It took us a couple days to get everything out of the moving trucks and into our new place, but as soon as we did, a wave of relief washed over our sweat-drenched and sore bodies. After a couple more hours of rearranging, we each grabbed a beer from the fridge and sat on the porch. We reminisced about old 90s cartoons and what video games we obsessed over as kids, and as the sun started to set, I truly felt relaxed and confident that things were going to work out. A week later, I started a new job for a construction company that was owned by a good friend of mine. As I was getting ready, I heard the front door swing open. I walked into the living room to see Lunaire and her friend David sliding in a large box. "What you got there?" I asked. Through a strained grunt, she replied,
"I bought a freezer to store some of the animals I'm planning on using in my taxidermy work. I hope that's alright."
I was obviously hesitant at first, as there was no mention of this happening in the first place, but
Uh,
I eventually accepted and returned to my room to continue getting.
um. mm, um. uh, okay, bitch. So does that mean you're gonna be hauling, like, keeping dead bodies in our house? Well, I mean, if you're taxidermy, I know they're like stuffed and everything, but I don't know, child.
Getting ready for work. I came home at around 9 p.m. after having a couple of beers with friends and noticed that the freezer was nestled snugly in the lower part of the pantry. A low hum could be heard reverberating off of the inner walls. I was curious to see what was inside, but didn't want to intrude on Lunaire's business, so I went into my room and changed into more comfortable clothing.
Not gonna lie, I would have looked. Not even going to hold you. I would have looked. I would have peeked and like, boop, just a little curiosity would have killed me that day. Honest to God. Because you're not about to sit here and bring up a freezer in my house. Talking about you about to be holding dead stuff in there. How do I know you're not holding dead body parts? Hmm? How do I know that? And now, if you get arrested, they're going to look at me crazy because they're going to assume that I'm an accomplice. No, I need to look. I need to look.
After changing, I came back out into the kitchen and started making a sandwich.
Wait. Was there blood on that floor? Let me just let it. Let me.
I opened the fridge and grabbed what I needed. As I turned around, I stubbed my toe on the edge of the island countertop and let out a long, exasperated grunt.
Woo! Don't you hate it? Don't you hate when that happens? Like you just walk in, especially when you don't see it coming, and you stub your foot when you walk in barefoot through the kitchen in the dark. That shit hurts something serious.
Through my frustration, I slammed the fridge door shut and checked my toe to see if there was any bleeding. As I raised my head back up, I was greeted by a shadowy figure.
What
Lunaire
the?
was standing in the doorway leading to her room. The darkness behind her almost seemed to envelop her.
Is everything okay?
She said in a deadpan tone. Shit, yeah, I'm sorry. I just slammed my toe into the corner of the countertop as I was making a sandwich. I hope I didn't wake you.
It's fine.
She said, in the same deflated tone as before. She then turned around and walked back into the darkness of her room. I could tell that she was pissed, so I quietly made my sandwich and retreated back to my room as well, only hearing the low hum from the freezer as I closed my door.
What the
I had
fuck?
the next day off, so I was able to sleep in a little longer than usual. When I finally emerged from my room, I walked into the kitchen to make breakfast. As I opened the refrigerator, I noticed that the light wasn't turning on and there was a lack of cold air escaping from inside. I turned around and flipped the light switch to confirm my suspicion. Sure enough, the power was out. Damn it, I muttered under my breath. I walked over to Lunaire's room and knocked on her door to tell her about the power outage if she didn't already know, but there was no answer. I then remembered that she had classes that day and probably wasn't home. I walked back to the kitchen and past the pantry. As I did, I slipped on the floor but was able to catch myself on the countertop.
You one clumsy mofo, I tell you that. But one thing I don't know if this was there beforehand. Did y'all notice that that thing is locked? Y'all see that? Was that locked there before? Mm-mm. I don't think that lock there was there before because remember he came in, he was like, I didn't want to look because I didn't want to be intrusive. But if he saw that lock was there, he couldn't have looked if he wanted to. So, what you locking in there, girl? Hmm? What you hiding?
What the? I angrily exclaimed as I looked down at the floor trying to figure out what I had slipped on.
Oh,
It was blood. It had started to leak from the corner of the freezer and pool onto the floor. I quickly tried to open the freezer to find out the cause of the viscous liquid, but then I noticed that it had a padlock attached to it. I don't remember seeing that before. I ran out to my car and grabbed my toolbox from the back seat. I approached the freezer and set my tools down on the nearby countertop. I then pulled out a small pair of bolt cutters and snapped through the metal of the padlock. It fell to the ground with a large thud. I creaked open the top of the freezer and was greeted with a putrid stench that permeated my nostrils. I quickly pinched my nose and walked away gagging in response. I guess I should have realized that was going to happen, I muttered to myself in
You
between
did.
gags. After gaining my composure, I grabbed some gloves from under the sink and started taking inventory. I could see a couple of dead birds and plastic bags wedged into the corners of the freezer. I took each bag out and set them in the trash can nearby. That's when I noticed that the blood was coming from the corner of the larger black bag. I don't know why, but I decided to open the top of the bag and peer inside.
Oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, it's a person. It's a fucking person. Lord Jesus.
I was greeted by large, milky white eyes, a swollen black tongue surrounded by cracked and bloated lips, and the matted
Wait.
hair of a human head.
Wait. Wait. Is that one of her roommates from that picture? Wait. Wait, let's see.
I swiftly dropped the bag and fell backwards onto the floor. My breathing had ceased to exist, and I grabbed the trash can next to me and expelled my disgust into it. I then ran out the door, got into my car, and called the police. As I sat in the interrogation room with a blanket over my shoulders, I couldn't help but think about the face I'd seen. It looked so familiar.
It was the. I told you. She talking about, oh, my roommates are moving to California. No, bitch, you killed them hoes and put them in this deep freezer.
That's when it finally hit me. I pulled out my phone and looked at Lunaire's profile picture. It was her old roommate, the one she said was moving to California. When the detective entered the room, she started the questioning process, asking me if I started noticing any weird
Actually, that's actually very stupid of her because that's one of the first thing that they look at is like your social media. Why don't you put your victim on the profile picture of your social media? You new to this girl. You don't know what you're doing. Not to say that I do know what I'm doing. I'm not incriminating myself or anything, but I'm just saying.
behavioral occurrences around the apartment. Yeah, I stubbed my toe the other day and she creepily stood in the doorway. It seemed like she was pissed, but for some reason I had a strange feeling like she was concerned about something. That's when I connected the dots. She didn't come out into the kitchen because she heard me stub my toe. She came out into the kitchen because she thought I slammed the freezer instead of the fridge. A cold sweat started to form on my forehead as my surroundings became blurred. I could hear a low whine slowly starting to cover up the words of concern from the detective. As my vision started to clear, I could see another officer enter the room and whisper something into her ear as he handed her a piece of paper. "Do you have somewhere you could stay at?" she asked. I mean, I was planning on staying with my parents. They live about 30 minutes outside of town. Okay, she paused. Listen, I don't want to worry you, but we found this picture inside of your apartment. She slid the piece of paper across the table, and I immediately felt like someone kicked me in the chest.
Oh God, I'm scared. I'm scared. Is she like taking a picture of him sleeping or something?
The head of Lunaire's other roommate sat on the chair. In the background, scrawled on the wall in blood, read, "Love my roommates. All of them."
Girl, see, this is why you don't be doing that Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace bullshit. Mm-mm. Absolutely the fuck not. Hell no. That was good though, but woo, woo. Can you imagine? Oh my God. My roommate's going to California. I'm trying to make it seem like she all nice and sweet. All girl, that's how they get you, child. Be weary of who you let in your space. Amen. All right, now we're gonna have time for about one to maybe two more, depending on the time. We're about 25 minutes. Let's see what we can find. All right, so I think I'm gonna do two more. There's this one about a creepy stranger at a hotel, and then I saw a title of another one talking about my girlfriend stalked me, or something about your girlfriend being stalked, or being stalked by your girlfriend. I'm sorry. So we'll do those two, and then we'll stop the video there. So again, want to thank you guys so much for watching. Those of you who do, comment and support, I appreciate y'all. Make sure you share these things across your social media. Let's bring, more eyes and ears to the channel. I would really, really appreciate it. All right, let's go. Creepy stranger at a hotel, Lord Jesus.
This happened to me at the beginning of this year, just after I lost my husband to meningitis. I had moved in with my father and taken a job at a local hotel. It was a nice, cushy job that wasn't very stressful, and it was also nice to me in my grief-stricken state. The job was the night shift front desk manager position. So I was watching scary movies or listening to creepy podcasts that seemed to help keep me awake.
What? What? You're doing the night shift, so you're at home. Well, not at home, but you're at work, usually alone, because there's not very many people that come in during the night shift. And you're watching creepy stuff while you're by yourself at night? Couldn't be me. It could not be me.
My husband had never liked scary things like I did, so it was nice getting back to something that was mine. Being the night worker, I was always by myself during my shift. The hotel was new, so it wasn't creepy to be by myself, especially since there was always someone around as far as guests went, and on top of that, my boss was always a phone call away. I knew I'd have backup if needed. Anyway, it was a night like any other. I was in the back office behind the desk, watching the cameras and listening to a podcast while twirling a pen around, waiting for hours to tick away. The hotel was pretty empty, so I felt more alone than usual. I looked down at my phone as my podcast ended and went to pick another one when I noticed movement outside the building on the cameras. A guest was walking in. I hadn't seen a car pull in from the driveway camera, but I chalked it up to me just not paying attention and went to the desk. The man walked in and I quickly noticed his clothes were dirty, tattered, and that he had this odd smell to him. Metallic smelling. I shook off the weird feeling and looked up at his face before greeting him. And I noticed that his eyes weren't on me, but the wall behind, just above me. I followed his gaze, wondering what he could be looking at, but there wasn't anything there. I was confused, but thought maybe he was lost in thought. I greeted him again, but his gaze still remained on the wall.
Girl.
I was starting to get freaked out, but kept my cool and cleared my throat. "Sir, is there something I can help you with?" I asked more firmly. Quickly, his eyes flicked down, and those eyes were wide and crazy looking. It startled me enough that I took a small step back. His previously blank expression grew into that of a crazed, wide smile.
Oh no.
He was missing.
No. And he missing teeth, Jesus. Oh Lord. And the thing is, he's already had some sort of pungent smell just from his face and just from his clothes and stuff. And now that you see he ain't got no teeth, they look rotted and yellow. You know his breath stink. You know that breath stink. Oh, I can smell it from the screen. Can y'all smell it from the screen? Y'all smell the gingivitis. Oh, girl.
Teeth, and the second his lips parted, I could smell his rotten breath.
See, you knew that breath is rank, girl. Ooh.
It made my stomach churn. Before I could open my mouth, I watched his eyes slowly creep up and down my body,
Ugh.
as if he were undressing me with his eyes. Then his eyes moved to my hand, and his smile faded into a hate-filled glare. His eyes were on my wedding ring. Well, yes, I still wore it, as I wasn't ready to give it up yet. "What the heck is that?" he asked, his voice thick and gruff and full of anger. "My wedding ring, sir. I'm married," I said, thinking maybe he was drunk. His glare got worse as his eyes met mine again. "Married? You lying bitch! You never told me you were married! You lied to me!" "Sir,
What?
I don't know what you're talking about, and I'm afraid that I'm going to have to ask you to leave." I was so scared at that moment, but tried desperately not to cry. He was still shouting at me. "So, you're kicking me out of my own home? You're a little hussy. I'm taking what's owed to me. Get over here!" He reached across the counter to
Bitch, don't touch me. Back up. Because once you reach over here, but whoop, bow. Hey, you got a little too close. Whoop, you got a little too close again. I don't play that. Back up. Because once you reach across this counter, it's me and you.
try and grab me, and I let out a scream, stumbled back, tripping over my long skirt. I crawled quickly for the office door as he rushed to the counter. He grabbed my shirt, tearing it down the back as I went to slam the door shut, and I slammed it on his hand, making him scream in pain as I heard the bones break.
Ooh.
As he let me go, I managed to finally shut and lock it before going into my boss's office. And as I dialed 911, I could hear him screaming at the office door, kicking as hard as he could to get it open. The operator stayed on the phone with me until the cops arrived. It took 3 grown officers and a taser gun to take him down and get him in the car. When everything was safe, I was sat down for a statement, and my boss and father were called. As my father was getting me into his truck, I heard an officer say that the man was a highly wanted man from Florida who had escaped a psychiatric facility. After he escaped the facility, he went looking for young brunette girls who were heavyset like me, or rather like his late wife. He had killed her and cut out her eyes and breasts, and done the same to 2 other girls in Alabama, so I could only guess he planned to do the same to me.
Oh.
Thank God for strong deadbolts and all of the police officers.
Ooh, child. Ooh, Lord. Like, I know you when you at work or you're in a situation, you're not trying to be violent, but baby, once you come into my personal space and you try and reach out and grab me, oh, oops, oh, baby, it's on. It's just on. So we're gonna do one more. I think it's this one right here. I had a girlfriend who stalked me. Yeah, so let's do this one and then we'll end off right there. Oh, girl. Oh, no. They tried me. They really tried me just now.
My name is Dan. This happened 3 years ago. I moved out of my parents' house once I started making a steady paycheck. I'm a plumber, and one day I had to go to someone's house to fix some pipes. There was a married couple and their daughter living there. Their daughter was 22 at the time. She was 6 months older than me, and her name was Amanda. While I was working, she was talking to me, asking if I was single and stuff like that. And to be honest, she seemed pretty cute. We exchanged phone numbers and eventually started dating, and she even moved into my house. We were 3 months.
Damn, y'all move fast as hell. I mean, I guess y'all trying to keep the pace but shit.
Into our relationship, and stuff started to get out of hand. She was always getting mad and annoyed so easily. She always started arguments, and so on. This began to happen all of the time, even in public, which was incredibly embarrassing. One day I had enough, and I had to break up with her, and I told her to leave and never come back. Amanda was pretty pissed off when I said that. I just ignored her when she was packing her stuff. She finally left, or so I thought. After that day, she would always show up at my house, harass me, throw rocks at my window, and so on. I'd called the cops many times, but she was gone by the time they showed up. About a month later, when I came home from working, I would find her in her house, yelling at me to come back, or I'd find writing on my walls that would say, "Come back, or I'll kill you."
Oh, bitch. All right, bitch. Guess what? You are, or at least from what I'm to understand, I allowed you to move into my house. I assume that this lease or apartment is in my name. So it's considered my property, and if I feel like somebody is intruding on my property, especially if the police have record of me calling about you stalking me, if I just so happen to take you up out the game and to meet your maker, I should be in my right because you're on my property. I've tried to ask you to leave. I've already called and reported you. I'm pretty sure that I can kill you and not go to jail for it because it's self-defense and I'm being harassed. I'm pretty sure that's how that would work. So it's best for you to leave me the hell alone, okay? Because if it's gonna be me and you, best believe it's gonna be you better than me. Alright? You think you crazy, you don't know crazy.
The writing eventually went from pencil to marker, and then around fucking blood. And Jess, I'm being serious when I said blood. That bitch carved my name a bunch of times into her arms and legs.
Oh.
She only got into my house because I forgot to take the house key back from her at the time. In hindsight, I'm such an idiot.
Yes.
That psycho knew where my parents lived and showed up to their house during the night. My mom almost had a heart attack when she woke up to the sound of a knife being tapped on the
Bitch. Let me tell you. Me and you can have a spat, we can have our disagreements or whatever. You tapping on my mama's door, my mama's house door with a knife? Looking the way you. Oh no. Oh no. There's no words left to be said. It's time for you to go on home to glory in Jesus because this what we not gonna do. This what we are not finna do. Did this what we not finna do. See this what we not finna do. Is this. Do you see her? Ooh, like once my mama called and told me that, it would be on. I'll be looking for her. Like, come find me. I would text her like, yeah, come to the house. Yeah, come on over and wear her out.
window glass. When she woke up, she saw Amanda standing there, staring at her while psychotically smiling at her.
Look at
Amanda
that.
did a lot, which really pissed me off. So one night, I decided to stay overnight at my parents' house. It was about 2 in the morning when I heard a tapping noise in the window next to me. I turned and saw Amanda staring right at me. Her eyes were wide open and red. She had bags under her eyes and a huge...
How did you think this bitch was ever cute? What happened? They said they only was dating for like 3 months. Like, was she on meth for 3 months? Like, her eyes sunken in, teeth look like they're almost missing, lips look like they could use some chapstick. Like, what's really going on?
huge smile. I went outside and started yelling at her to stay away from me and my family, but she screamed at the top of her lungs and charged at me with a knife. I punched her right in the face.
You know what? I did not expect that. I don't know why, but I did not expect that. Even though that is exactly what I would have done. I know, violence against women as a man, but I don't know what more she would have to do in order for me to be able to retaliate. She literally just came at me with a knife. Like, if I didn't knock her out, I would have a hole in my chest. Like, like where do we cross the line? Where's the line at?
Which knocked her out. I called the cops and made sure Amanda didn't wake up while they were arriving. The cops came quickly while Amanda was knocked out. They found my house key on her, and she was arrested and eventually sentenced for a long while. After Amanda was sentenced, my parents and I moved out of state because we'd like to stay as far away from Amanda as we possibly can, because she will eventually be released.
Oh no, man, ain't nobody got time. But thank you guys so much for watching this little trilogy of videos. This doesn't mean that this is the last one. I just know I owed you guys for waiting so long since the first one that we did on Monday. So I decided to give you 3 back to back to hopefully make up for it for those of you who really enjoy this series. There will be more, but I wanted to just give this as a special treat to you guys. Make sure you guys support the other content that I put out as well. My Love and Hip Hop Atlanta review that's on my channel. Make sure you guys go check out the Perfect Blend podcast. The latest 2 episodes, Is It Fat Enough and To Catch a Predator, where we talked about online dating and just celebrity news and gossip. Yeah, so follow me on my social media. Let me know what you think. Tweet me, comment on my Instagram. Everything is at Jamar84. That's JAMAR84. And let's chat. Put in the comments. I try to reply to everybody. Yeah, so I really, really appreciate it, you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.